All right, welcome to my State of the Market address. I'm Kerrick with MVP Realty. I'm excited to share this information with you today. So I'm going to talk about Marco Island, but first I want to talk about the Naples Marco Island market in general. It's basically all of Collier County. So as of April, we're going to look at closed sales. Closed sales were 1,080. That's down 22% from a year ago. Median sale price is up 6.4%. That's currently at 657.5. Again, this is the Naples Marco Island market as a whole. Active inventory is up 89%. That's currently at 3640, and again, that's inclusive of the entire market. And month supply of inventory is up. It is currently at 4.3 months, and that is up from 1.5 months a year ago. Okay, new listings are down 27%. New pending sales are down 18%. Okay, so now let's go to Marco Island and drill down just a little bit deeper and tell you what's happening over there. All right, closed sales, Marco Island. Closed sales are down 17%. Currently, the last month was 105. Median sale price, this is interesting here. Median sale price is up 26%. That is currently at 1.1 million. Active inventory is currently 480 homes as of April. I'm going to give you a quick insight and let you know that May's numbers somewhere around like the 415 to 420 mark, somewhere thereabouts. Okay, but that is not officially released yet. Month supply of inventory. Okay, this is a big one. This is big news, guys. Month supply of inventory is up from 2 months last year. It is now at 7 months. Okay, do you know what that means? That means we are officially in a buyer's market in Marco Island. Okay, welcome. I know some people have been kind of waiting for that, but what does that really look like? Well, let's take a look at that. Now, let me just finish this off real quick and talk about the case of new listings down 25%, new pending sales are down 19%. That's Marco Island. Okay? Okay, so month supply of inventory. Let's drill deeper just for a second and look at this. Okay? Now, the trend, of course, now let me first back up and just talk about, again, what that means. Okay, so a buyer's market is if it's greater than 6 months supply, and a seller's market is if it's less than 6 months supply. Okay, so that doesn't mean that there's going to be massive amounts of price reductions or anything like that. But what it does mean is that because the buyers will now have the advantage, they stand to get a better deal than what might be on the typical listed price. Okay, so I hope that makes some sense. In other words, so if you see a house that's listed for, say, $1 million, it's not going to be unusual if you see that sell for maybe the low to mid 900s. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. That's always going to depend on the motivation of the individual seller, but the buyers generally are going to have more to choose from. So the sellers typically might be a little bit more flexible. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, let's talk about just the trends for a second. Take a look at this chart here. Now, I don't want to start any kind of panic about that the inventory is rising, because let's go back. All right, now if you look at this chart here, this goes all the way back to January of 2009. Some good times back then, right? Yeah, I know, we all remember, try to forget. But those numbers in early 2009, they were dancing around almost 40 months supply of inventory. That's a lot of homes for sale, okay? So naturally, prices drop drastically in those times there. But if you look at this, you follow the trend down. Now it goes over to, if you see my red marks there, we have it April 2015. I think that's the safest point in time to talk about that. It's a pretty normal market. You know, you see a couple of peaks and valleys, but overall, it kind of teetered around the anywhere between 5 and 10 month supply, depending on the time of year. Typically, the inventory would drop in the summertime, and then it would start to pick up again. And the same with the activities. Marco Island generally has been pretty slow during the off season, and this year seems to be no exception to that. So if you go past this, now you can see the COVID era comes into play. You look and you see the inventory drop drastically. That was the mass buying that took place in that era. Multiple offers and just all that kind of madness there that we all experienced, and now we're starting to really see things start to kind of trend back up to the way things were in the past. So again, I take some heart with that and say that I think this is going back to the way things were, and I think this is what we should kind of get used to at this point. Okay, so we talked about inventory. Let's talk about median price. Take a look at this chart here. If you see the circle all the way to the right, that's where we're at right now. This is as of April. It was the median price in Marco Island was 1.1 million. If you go back to that other circle just to the left of that, that's April 2019. Median price back then was $537.5 in Marco Island. So even though that the inventory is rising, it seems that the long-term trend still shows that the prices are typically trending upward. Now, what can happen tomorrow, we don't know. But I think it's important to just kind of keep an eye on that there. Now, one of the things that could affect pricing would be if the interest rates do drop significantly. Some of the expert analysts have shown, and I agree, that if the interest rates do drop, buyer activity will increase. And of course, because that demand goes up, that means the prices will probably continue to go up. Okay, last statistic that I want to share. Cash is king. Always has been. We all know that. Cash sales as a percentage of closed sales. In April of 2023, 76% of the sales were cash. If we go back to April of 2019, that number was 66%. If you look at this graphic here, you'll see I circled, looks like 9 times that, only 9 times in the last 5 years that the cash sales went below 50%. And that number only went down to just about 40%. So again, cash is king, always has, always will. Keep that in mind too when we're going back to when we talked about the inventory. With the inventory, of course, it's starting to shift a little bit more towards a buyer's market, or at least a little bit more flexibility on the seller's side because there's more competition. If you have a cash offer, that's obviously going to give you more of a competitive edge as well. So just keep that in mind, and enough on that. So to summarize, sales activity is down. Inventory and month supply is trending towards more of a balanced market, yet prices are still trending up. So to close, how do we avoid overpaying your house if you're buying something, or underpricing if you're selling a home? It's very simple. It is determined by the market. The market, the market, and the market. It's not about emotion. It is strictly the market. So if you're buying something in a particular community, let's take a look together, and I'm happy to do that with you. We'll walk through and look at what everything recently sold. So if the last few homes in that particular complex sold at, say, $700,000, and they're all within the same square footage, maybe the same model, what have you, that's going to be a good indicator of what that property is going to be worth, and that should hopefully give you the right tools and information to make a reasonable offer that will help you win that and also make you feel good about the purchase you're making. Okay? If you're selling, kind of the same thing. It's not emotional. It is strictly about the numbers. If your other properties in your neighborhood or in your complex have sold, at $500,000 and they're exactly like yours, that's going to be a good indicator of where we should price yours. The thing with selling, because things are getting more competitive, you do have to keep an eye on just how competitive it is, and maybe figure out ways to give yourself a competitive edge. Of course, price is always going to be a big factor in that. Okay, so I'm happy to walk through the journey with you. I welcome the opportunity, and I make it a great day. God bless.